An idea born out of Monday morning chats at the coffee machine. In this series, we chat to our guests about their going out experiences and how it shaped them.
Join us, Pippa
And Georgia,
team members at Skiddle who love going out and miss chatting about it. Welcome to episode 2 of series 2 of the Going Out podcast. Today we've got Defected's first lady, Sam Devine.
We chatted to her about growing up in Weston Super Mare, doing many seasons in Ibiza, moving to London, and just the general going out amazing stories that she's got and how that's ended up in a career at Defected.
Her outlook on life is super positive, so we hope that you get as much out of that conversation as we did.
Enjoy. Welcome to the Going Out podcast, Sam Devine, DJ, label owner and radio presenter. It's great to have you.
Sup. Thanks for having me, ladies.
We're really excited to have you because I want to just steal all the tips of radio presenting, to be honest.
Takes years of practice.
We're like absolute babies at the moment.
As you can see by the volume, probably.
Yeah, definitely.
It's all good.
The podcast is about your personal going out experiences because over the past year or so, obviously, no one's really been able to go out and we're missing those going out stories, those chats around the coffee machine. And
it's all about staying in parties now, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's staying in is the new going out.
Exactly. And I suppose we've had some mega news this week from the government about a roadmap out of this really strange time.
Madness.
So basically we just want to start at the beginning really. And what were your first going out experiences and where did you grow up?
Well, I mean, I grew up in Weston Super Mare and the first party that I went to was a free party. I was 15 and literally, we drove there all in a convoy. We stopped off at the service stations and everyone got their alcohol and then we literally kind of rocked up to this phone box and everyone was kind of hanging out in this old disused service station and everyone's got their car boots up and everyone's just jamming to music. It was amazing. And then someone would get a number and we'd have to call this number and then everyone in convoy would then go to this free party where it's just stack systems, speakers stacked up in the middle of this forest and just all the cars by, and it was just amazing. There was someone started a little fire and everyone was just hanging on bales of hay around this fire listening to it's probably hardcore and happy hardcore and hard house and drum and bass at the time, and I was just instantly hurt. I always hung around with people that were a lot older than me as well. I mean, I was still pretty much in school at 15. And that was me, and I've literally been raving every single weekend since. It was just being a part of a family, a raving family. You kind of had your school and your friends and your family, and then you've got your raving family, and that's pretty much stayed with me throughout the whole of my raving career, if you like. Since I was 15, and the music's changed loads obviously since then. I've kind of gone through all the genres of hardcore. I used to go to drum and bass raves, hardcore raves, hard house raves, and house was actually the last kind of music genre that I got into. It was very, very, I was in my kind of late teenage, early 20s before I got into house. I kind of went through all the rave music first and the actual raves before I actually got into house. So yeah.
Wow, what a birth into the going out life.
That's such a cool story.
That puts my going out into Preston to proper shame.
Yeah, to step up from the drinking at the parks.
Yeah. What kind of artists were you?
I did all that too. I hung out in parks. I did all that too.
What kind of artists were you listening to in them days then?
It was more about oh my god, so it was all kind of local DJ. I'm frozen. It was local DJs more than anything really. It wasn't, I didn't really when I kind of got to the clubs, my first kind of stomping ground was Bristol, so I was kind of going to hard house raves Lisa Lashes, Lisa Pinup. Then I used to go to a lot of raves with Judge Jules and obviously Ibiza, and it's just kind of, I feel so privileged that I've been able to listen to so many genres of music and got to experience all of those genres of music at the height of each of each genre as well. You know, at the height of garage, I was there in '99 in London, in Iron Appa. At the height of, the Chicago and Detroit house, I came a little bit later after that, but then I get to play in Chicago and Detroit and be able to go back to my roots. So I'm just so fortunate that, I've got such a wide spectrum of music that I love, from literally everything. Growing up in my house, my mum always had 80s music on. We'd dance around the kitchen, and, I've just been so blessed that, and I kind of incorporate that into my sets as well. I like to play a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I think that's why my friends and I love you, because it's just always a good time. It's always something that you drop in that just gets the crowd going. Yeah, I think definitely.
I'm just all about that party vibe, and I think it's so important, because I've obviously raved. I've had a very fruitful raving life, I guess you can say. I've pretty much done it all. I've raved around the world, a good few times over. So, and that's kind of now. It's like when I met all my best friends is on the dance floor and going out, and going out to someone's house and raving in someone's kitchen. To me, it's just the same as if you're going out to a club. You just want to be with your friends, and more than ever, obviously the last year we've not been able to spend a lot of time with our friends. So roll on June, it's going to be wild.
Yeah, wow, completely.
Isn't it? So if you say you've raved at various places, where would you say is the one of your best experiences?
Oh wow,
tough question.
It's a very good question. Yeah, I mean, Ibiza is, it stole my heart from the very first time that I went to Ibiza. That was probably the end of the 90s that I was going to Ibiza. And I literally remember I went with my best friend, and it was such rubbish weather, and it literally rained every day. And it was like, oh my God, is this what Ibiza's about? But we went to Eden every single night. It was like hard house back then, every single night. And I just remember being on the coach on the way back to the airport, feeling so depressed, I've got to go back to my normal life now. Because I just literally, it was just heaven, cloud 9 for 7 days. And yeah, from that moment, I ended up going back every single year. And this year, or this year really, 2021 would have been my 16th, 17th year on the island now.
Wow.
So really, obviously I'm well showing my age right now. But yeah, Ibiza definitely. Brazil's amazing to party as well. Played in Brazil quite a few times. Australia, and most recently America now, Vegas. There's only one real house club in Vegas that I play at. It's called Commonwealth, and it's on it's like a little rooftop, and it's only for about 300 people, and they put a functional sound system up there, and you're overlooking the strip, and it's just insane. I'm just so lucky to travel all around the world and basically get paid to party with my friends. That's basically it.
Yeah. It
is the dream.
I feel
it is the dream, yeah.
When people tell me stories of back in the day when you said genres were coming up, bubbling up, and the party scenes were just so epic, and it was a moment. Do you feel that's a thing now still, or because I don't know if I've just got this perception of it being amazing and nowadays just doesn't really compare because I don't know the difference. But
yeah, I mean, mobile phones have ruined it. In one hand, they've ruined it, and in the other, obviously, it's very good for a DJ like myself to get content. Obviously, we didn't have mobile phones back in the day. You just have your little Nokia 8210 with Snake on it,
Snake,
and that was your vibe. That was your vibe. But I just think now people are less in the moment because they have their phones, and you can't be in the moment if you're on your phone. So when I do my openers parties, obviously I haven't done them for a while now, but my actual ethos is leave your phone in your pocket and put your hands in the air, leave the phone alone. But I do get it, especially in kind of the younger generation. They want to be oh, look at me, I'm at a party with MK, or I'm at a party with Jamie Jones, look at me, on Snapchat. And it's just, I don't know, when I was that age and I was raving, I just wanted to be in the moment with my friends. I'd hardly used to go for toilet breaks or to the bar because the music was so good. I didn't want to leave the dance floor, but it is a different generation, and technology has moved on, and you do have to adapt. But there is nothing worse for me when I'm playing and like everyone on the front kind of 3 rows have got their phone cameras up. That's fine, but with their torches on right in my face, because I'm in the zone and when I'm playing, I don't ever want to be aware of my surroundings. Like it's just me and the dance floor and, you know, and you guys dancing. So when I've got a flash camera in my face, it kind of puts me off my zone a little bit. So I'm just like, when I've got my tour managers or my assistants with me, they're like, put your phones down, like just enjoy the music, because it is quite annoying. But I get it, you know, to be 17, 18 again on a dance floor, you know.
Like from the other side, when you're on the dance floor and you're looking up and all you can see is someone else's phone, that is the most frustrating
that
thing.
annoys me as well.
That when your view is blocked by someone else's phone, that does my head in so
definitely. I mean, even like New Year's Eve, I saw a video, I won't say who it was, but it was at a massive club in London, and you know, they've got the countdown timer and everyone's got their phones in, and like the fireworks, everything's going off, and I'm like, yo, you're not even saying Happy New Year to the person next to you. Like you're so like into just like filming that moment instead of actually being in the moment. I remember at midnight, you know, you'd grab a stranger next to you and give them a kiss and a cuddle, and then, do you know what I mean? And that would be for about 5 minutes, and then you'd be like, okay, like I'm actually at a rave now. Whereas, you know, everyone's got their phones in the air, and it's just like you haven't even like wished the person next to you Happy New Year. It's like, it's crazy, but each to their own. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like I said, it's like a double-ended sword. It's like good for it's good and it's bad. But I just wish people. I mean, it's going to be even more so now. As soon as the club's open, that everyone's going to want to be documenting it. And of course, it's a moment in history. But when you used to go to Space back in the day, when Space was open in Ibiza, they'd either put like a little black tape over your torch on your phone, or you'd have to put it in a locker.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great idea. And there was a few clubs that actually kind of championed that. But, you know, all bets are off right now, aren't they? People can do what the hell they like.
Yeah. You know? If people are going to like grow out of that, you know, like
I don't think so.
Do you not think? I kind of hope that like the next generation would be like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But it's ingrained into us now, isn't it? Communication.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
And also, because we haven't been able to, I don't really like look back on the videos, but because we haven't been able to go out, like having some videos has been quite nice to look at.
For sure.
So
definitely.
Yeah. Definitely. And then when we did the podcast with Solardo, he was saying that they were like he was doing music around the time where social media like came in.
Yeah.
And he was saying that they were going to the gigs and videoing other DJs playing their tunes to get content. Yeah. And I thought that was like well interesting. Yeah. You never think that that's what it was like.
No.
I mean now DJs, you know, that their tracks get broken because, you know, people are videoing them and putting them up online, and then that's how, you know, records go viral. Exactly what you just said about Solardo, you know, with their what was the track that kind of blew them up? I can't remember now. I want to say Hang Tree, but that's Michael Beebe, isn't it? Oh Lordy. You know, the one that I'm
yeah.
You know, and that was because everyone was filming it, and then they obviously had the content. So like I said, it is a double-edged sword, because now obviously, you know, I want people to take videos of, you know, my records so that I can then share that content. But going back to like a raving point of view, this is just going to an event, but from a raving point of view, you know, you look back on everyone's old videos and everyone's just raving on top of speakers, tops off, sweating. And also people feel probably a little bit less inclined to do that and to really be free when you know that there's a video camera in your face or someone's videoing it, because then you don't feel free to express yourself because you're being documented at that time. You know, that's a complete stranger with their phone in your face while you are like high on life, you're buzzing off the DJ, you're buzzing off the atmosphere, and then you just feel a little bit self-conscious because people are filming you. It's just, it's not natural. But you know, we do have to adapt and we do have to, you know, move with the times. So I get both sides of the argument completely.
Yeah. And when you were first starting to go out and go to those kind of raves and stuff, is that what piqued your interest in DJing, or were you DJing before then?
No, I wasn't actually. I didn't really start DJing until my early 20s. I was actually quite late because I just loved raving so much. All my friends DJ. So, I mean, it was amazing. Like, it was just literally, I was around music all the time. Like I said, from a really young age of being, you know, my mum always having music on in the house. And then, you know, hanging around, I've always hung around with older people. So they would all take me and sneak me in the back doors of the clubs and things, you know. So, and then I just get to know the DJ, just stand in the booth all night and then just become best friends with all the DJs. And it was only really when I went to a rave in Bristol and I saw Lisa Lashes and Lisa Pinup play, and I was just like, it was just one of those light bulb moments where I was just like, wow, I just couldn't take my eyes off her, and just the way that she was kind of orchestrating the crowd and everyone was just kind of feeding off her energy. I mean, she could have literally played anything and people would have gone wild to it. And I was just like, I just remember standing right at the top of the, you know, on the balcony, just overlooking, where all my friends were just like raving behind me. And I was just like, well, that's what I want to do. And from then literally that kind of within a space of a week, I'd had like a set of belt drive decks, which were horrendous to even mix on, but taught myself how to mix, and then entered into a DJ competition within 6 months, won that competition. Then it just kind of escalated from that. I was like a junior booker at the nightclub, resident DJ doing the warm-up sets to literally like no one for months, you know, but that's how you build your craft and your art as a warm-up DJ. So it all kind of really, really fell into place for me. And I think obviously, you know, having a lot of friends that were DJs, you know, at the time I was going out with the guy that worked at Tower Records, which obviously went bust now when vinyl kind of went over to digital. So I used to go in on my lunch breaks. So I used to work in on the high street for Vodafone, and on my lunch break go in and just flick for all the records, and he would just go like, right, you know, that's for you. And then, you know, whatever, obviously not earning a lot of money back then, and just spending pretty much every bit of spare cash that I had on vinyl. So yeah, it was very quickly from like being on the dance floor to them being in the booth. But because I kind of, you know, just loved raving so much and loved going out so much, it was just my life. I mean, even like before I got signed to Defected, I was kind of like, right, I'm an 80% raver and only a 20% DJ, because, you know, I'd get to the club early, I'd be on the dance floor with all my friends, then I'd like have 5 minutes to sort myself out, then I'd play, and then I'd literally be back on the dance floor again, you know. And I did that for years and years. And now, of course, when I go on the dance floor, it's like mob city. So when I've just got off the decks and I'm like sweating and I've got like makeup all over me and people want photos, and I'm just like,
let me rave.
You know? Yeah, literally, let me rave.
Have you ever seen that Ed Sheeran goes around in like a Spider-Man costume at festivals?
Oh my God, amazing.
I feel like you should get like so you could still do the rave on the dance floor.
That's amazing. I know my friends literally hate going out with me now, because you can't even move from the booth to the toilet without people jumping on it, which is, of course, I adore that. I love that, because if you've given someone like such a good night and they want to tell you about it, I'm here for that all day long, you know. But literally just let me go to the toilet, guys. Let me sort my face out and then I'll come back to the dance floor, you know. But yeah, no, I mean, I absolutely adore my job. I love it. I love, you know, being able to spend that time with people, with strangers, really, you know, with complete strangers. And I've just made so many friends around the world now that, you know, that were just, you know, I'd hate to say fans, like people that follow you, and now that have become really, really good friends. You know, there's not anywhere in the world that I can go without calling someone up and going out with them or going for dinner, or you know, they come to a show with me now, and that's all just, you know, through DJing. So I'm so grateful and so blessed for that.
Oh, that's amazing. And that's always good to be taken out by someone who lives in that area as well, because then you get all the good spots.
They know the spots.
Yeah, that's so true.
Spots. Yeah, they know the spots.
So did you used to do seasons in Ibiza then? Did you do?
I did.
What was that like? Were you DJing from the start, or?
Yeah, so basically the first year that I went was 2005. I think my first season was. And I went out there because I was going out with someone who used to work for Cream and Head Candy. So I just used to basically just jump on the back of their like pre-parties, really, at Mambo or Ithaca. It's not Ithaca, Bar M actually it was called then, Bar M. So they used to like set all the pre-parties up, and then used to play for the first kind of hour, and then predominantly mostly in the West End, just playing for booze and rent money, basically. Didn't really have a wage. So I did that for a whole season. And it was actually up against myself and another girl that I used to play back-to-back vinyl with. And we just had the ultimate jam. It was amazing. And she just taught me so much as well. We just used to battle it out. It was incredible. And we both had this kind of unofficial residency at a bar called Hush, which was at the top of the West End in Ibiza. And she'd literally just split up with her fella, I remember. And she was just an emotional wreck. And it was like the last week of the season, and the residency was between myself and this other girl called Laura, and she was just this emotional wreck, coming into work crying all the time. So I'd like, you know, fill her spot, and the owner just said, Sam, I really want you to come back next year. Laura's literally having a meltdown, so I can trust you to do it, so come back and be a resident. So, and that was the turning point for me then. I still hadn't been signed to Defected at that point. That was 2006, and I played on the West End. I played 6 nights a week. I used to do up to 7 hours hours a night. I was still on vinyl then as well, still on vinyl. And people used to come in and just jam at Hush every night, not even bother going to a club because they had such a good time in Hush. And I learned so much. Then I could obviously start booking my friends, and my friends would fly out and I'd book my friends, and it was just a jam 7 nights a week. It was incredible. I learned so much, met so many people. I actually got my first kind of Italian gig that ended up becoming a residency because these 2 Italian promoters walked in. And I remember I played Barbara Tucker, Precious Love, and they came up to me and was like, Sam, oh my God, give me your number. We love you. And I was like, no problem. And I ended up having a residency in Naples for like 3 years after that. It was insane. I got my first like club gig was 2008 at Cream. I played Amnesia after Swedish House Mafia. And I remember I was like on a breakdown. I got my lighter out, and literally everyone, the whole dance floor got their lighters out. And it was just such a moment. I got goosebumps just thinking about it now. Obviously now people get their phone torches out. I didn't have that then. I literally just got my lighter out. It's just so many amazing memories. And then 2009, I got signed to Defected. I was actually part of their street team, and I was just basically just servicing all the DJs on the island. So obviously it went from vinyl to CDs then, handing out CDs to everyone. So I used to go to like DC10, Amnesia, Privilege, Eden, all of them, Amnesia, all of them, and just hand out Defected CDs to everyone. And then I'd report back and just, give them, like, so-and-so's playing Curing the Calls at DC10 or whatever it was. And then Simon actually called me into the office and was like, how do you feel about being an events manager at Pasha for Defected? And I was like, yeah, no problem. Never done anything like that in my whole life before. I mean, I put club nights on before with my best friend, but nothing on that scale. And it was just like, by the end of the summer, I was like, I hate my job so much. It was so stressful, so stressful. However, now I'm very, very good friends with people like Kenny Dope and Carrie Chandler and ATF Sears, Shapeshifters, and, Nick Hurley, and just all of these amazing artists that were my heroes. And now, because I used to look after them on the island, they've become really good friends. And now obviously I've got to tour the world with all of them now. So it's just that those 2006 and 2009 were like milestone, memories in my career, because they kind of set me up for the rest of my career. So yeah, big up Ibiza and Defected.
God, so you mentioned that you did like 7 days kind of. How does that like take a toll on you as well? Like, as in, like, it's full on that, isn't it?
Yes. So my drink back then was a vodka Red Bull, and literally it burnt the insides of my stomach by the end of the seasons. Like, it was crazy, because I'd go for a bottle of that, plus people would be coming in on shot runs. So you'd be absolutely hammered by 6 a.m. You'd be so I don't even know like how I played, but you just, because you're on such a high and you're so buzzing off the crowd that you just get through it. But mentally now my body clock is completely upside down, because I'd finish work at 6-7 o'clock in the morning, then I'd have my wind down, then I'd sleep all day, then get back up 8 o'clock, I'd be on the decks by 10. And when you do that for like a number of years, and then you're touring on top of that in the winter, just my body clock now, I mean, I rarely sleep before 5 a.m. most days now. Yeah, my body clock is pretty I feel like I am jet lagged 24/7. That's what it feels like. So when I go to America, I'm normal because I'm actually sleeping at the right time, getting up at the right time. I'm actually normal. When I go to America or Australia, it's weird. It's so weird. But I mean, I've got no regrets. I don't look back on anything and go, God, I wish I'd done that differently. Like, everything that's happened in my life has got me here today, and running my record label, being signed to the biggest, Defected record label, traveling the world, just meeting so many beautiful, amazing souls all around the world. Like, I wouldn't change any of it for the world. Like, for the world, I wouldn't.
Oh, well, how did you manage that kind of sleeping pattern during lockdown then? Because how did you feel that time when you weren't able to do gigs?
Well, I mean, I've still been so busy. I haven't really slowed. I mean, apart from the traveling, of course, I mean, I'm used to going out every weekend. But in terms of, I do 9 radio shows a month. Yeah. I do I think 8 to 10 live streams a month. So I'm literally, I need a break before we go back. I literally need to take a couple of weeks off just to, I've been working very, very hard on my self-development. I got myself a life coach right at the start of lockdown, just for that transition, because where I've just been so busy all the time and not taking a single minute to actually look at life in general, I've been very kind of tunnel visioned, I guess is the best best way where it's just like work, because that is what I thrive off. That is what makes me tick. That's what makes me feel alive. So when that all stopped, obviously I partied hard like everyone else for like 2 months straight. It was amazing. I was like, God, I haven't got to get up for work, you know. But then when that kind of reality set in, I mean, my mental health suffered a lot because I was, and also having that interaction with people on the dance floor and then having to basically play to a mobile phone now, but you're playing to a live stream and you know you're playing to thousands of people, but then you've still got to put that brave face on and you've still got to smile. And though, you know, when you're having your darkest days and you know you've still got to deliver a radio show, you still got to deliver that live stream because people still need to hear music. You know, it's not like the world just stops because we're in a pandemic. Obviously, there's a lot of negatives to come out of this, but I'm actually taking a whole heap of positives. I really am. Like, I mean, my good days have way outweighed my bad days, but on the bad days where I've still had to get up and record a live stream, you know, you just kind of dust yourself off and do it. And then, you know, behind closed doors, you know, I've got such an amazing support network around me. And that really has got me through lockdown. That really, really has, because without them, probably end up in a mental hospital.
Do you have any kind of advice for people that are going through kind of a similar feeling about being in lockdown, a similar like down days?
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? I've just done a really cool thing, like my 5 kind of lockdown tip. I mean, I don't work out, and a lot of my friends that do work out, they said that exercise is really, really important. I've actually just, I'm going back to college actually to do a mental health first aider course.
Oh, wow.
It's something that I'm really, really passionate about, not only because I've suffered with mental health myself, but, you know, I've got a close circle around me that are all kind of really going through it right now. And I just kind of, I can only speak about my personal experiences, but to know the actual science behind it and to be able to maybe, you know, to see the signs with someone, I just kind of want to be there to be able to scoop people up. It's just in my nature to look after people, you know. I don't look after myself very well, but I'm very good at looking after other people. And do you know what? The biggest thing, and, you know, there's such a stigma around men's mental health right now, you know. There's a brilliant thing on TV and it's got Prince William on it and some like footballers. I'm not really into football, but they were just talking about the stigma of, you know, men talking about, you know, what they're going through. Us as women, we love to talk. We love to just, you know, let it all out. And, you know, because, we're emotional puppies, but that's just the way we are. But guys, you know, they bottle it up, and there's just been, let's end on a positive, but there's just been so many people that we've lost to suicide and things like that in this lockdown. You know, they're saying that the real pandemic is, you know, mental health, which is so true. And I just think we need to look out for the signs. You know, I think just sending someone a message just going, you've got this, you know, it needs to go way more deeper than that. Pick up the phone if you see, and just seeing those signs, because you know that you can really, really save someone. And, you know, just reaching out to people. And, you know, if you're on the other end of it and you have mental health, just it's so easier said than done. But as soon as you start opening your mouth and start talking, you'll just feel like this weight lifted from your shoulders. And the more you talk about it, you know, that there is professional help out there. But I've found that every time I've kind of gone down that slippery slope, just talking to my friends, self-care is so important. You know, now, my God, Amazon must love me. The amount of candles that I go through a week is just insane now, absolutely insane. Like, I've got my incense burning, I've got my candles, and even just taking a cold shower, a bath, just having that kind of 10, 15 minutes to yourself, you know, just come off your phone, just come off social media, come off the news, and just kind of be in your own space and being aware of how you feel, because and you're just not alone. You're not on your own. There's so many people going through it as well. You just got to talk. You just got to talk to people, and that, you know, it will get easier. It will get easier.
Phones are a biggie, aren't they? Like, social media has just been, in one way, a bit of a saving grace to be able to communicate with people, but in another way, it's been like so much pressure during this time to like, am I exercising? Am I eating as well as someone else?
Am I baking banana
bread? Bloody banana bread.
Never see another banana bread ever.
I know, literally. And it's so true. And then, you know, you've got your influencers with, you know, I just say life doesn't come with a filter on it. You know, it doesn't come with a filter on it. And I just think, with social media, like I said, it's such the double-edged sword, you know. It's good. It's really good to stay in contact with people. But then, you know, you do see that the influence, I mean, that's a whole nother conversation. But, you know, like I said, life doesn't come with a filter. And most of the time, you know, they've probably dragged themselves out of bed to put a full slap of makeup on anyway. Do you know what I mean? It's like, each their own. Now what I do is I've actually got 2 accounts. I've got one that's obviously my DJ account, and then I've got my personal account. And on my personal account, I follow such, you know, either positive quotes or positive people. You know, actors are so positive. Like I follow so many American actors. They're just so real, and then you've got kind of like your UK Z-listers, I call them, and it's just like, it's a completely different world. But I kind of switch between the two depending on what mood that I'm in. But following positive people is like really, really important. Really important.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely about like the environment as well. Like if you surround yourself with positive thoughts, then hopefully then you attract positive.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just, you know what, you've got to keep your vibration on a high level. And absolutely, it's easier said than done. But I always try and keep myself, around good people. Like I said, I don't eat well, I don't exercise well. I'm still here. I've still got a smile on my face. It's not the be all and end all. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I look like crap today, but it's, I'm still doing everything with a smile on my face. And I think that's the most important thing, is just, that there's people out there that are far worse off than you. And I just think, if you've got a roof over your head and food in the fridge, and you've got, clean clothes to put on every day, and you can put the heating on, like, really got much to moan about,
Yeah, exactly.
Very, very blessed. Very, very blessed.
Indeed. When you left Ibiza then, like, how were you, like, from your seasons, where were you moving back to, and like, how were you feeling, and what was the routine like, and what were you doing?
Yeah. So once I was doing seasons in Ibiza from May until end of September, beginning of October. And then I'd literally sofa surf because I had no kind of fixed abode, because I moved from Weston Super Mare to London with my best friend. And when we got to London, we didn't know anyone. My friend got a job at a radio station, and I literally had a box of records and a suitcase. We didn't know anyone, so I was just kind of putting out mixes and just doing it that way. And then Ibiza kind of gave me a purpose. And also obviously DJing in Ibiza, it's like, God, it's the place to be if you want to be a DJ. Ibiza is the one. Met so many friends. So then, we'd hook up with each other in the winter and, play certain people's parties and things like that. But I lived on my best friend's sofa for 2 winters. Actually three best friends sofas for like 3 winters. And it was only I think it was like, I'd done 5 seasons in Ibiza, and then I kind of thought enough's enough now, because I kind of lived in North, East, South and West London. And then my friend had a pub, and he was renting a room. And after 5 years of Ibiza, I was kind of dead, to be honest. I was like, oh, stick a fork in me, I am done. It was like, it was, for all that it was amazing, but I just never had any stability, because then I was just wishing the winter away for it to be Ibiza again, and it was just, it's not real life Ibiza when you do seasons. You are literally in a dream world. Like, you are literally on cloud 9. Like, I didn't even used to get the papers because I didn't want to know anything that was going on at home. It was just party. And then I finally got an apartment in Essex, and I ended up staying there for 7 years before I moved over to Southwest London. But it's now I just fly back. I probably play about 8 to 10 times a summer, which is more than enough for me. And I get in, I get out, or I'll stay for a week. I've got obviously tons of friends that actually live in Ibiza as well. So I've got the balance right now. I can go in and party if I want to, or I can go in and chill and, go out for dinner and visit friends. And so, I finally nailed the balance after like 17 years. I finally got it right.
Yeah, I've had that when I've been to Ibiza. I've only been on holidays, not done a season, but it is like you are in a bubble. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Like, because all your friends are coming out to see you.
Yeah.
And they're all saying, oh, so and so, it's raining back home, and you're like, oh, I'm having the best time of my life. But when you're young, I just think, explore, get out there and do things, because I'm nearly 40 years old now, and everything that I do now is a complete bonus. I'm on my 3rd passport with every page stamped a good few times, and I feel like I'm an Ibiza veteran, and I'm well seasoned now. I've done everything that I wanted to do, so everything now is just a complete bonus, and it's so much fun. It's life is for living, and just get out there and just do it. Be brave, take a leap of faith, and just do what makes your soul and heart happy. That is just like the number one thing, because I know so many people that haven't even been abroad, and they're my age, and it's just like, what? So just do whatever, what is good for your soul.
I suppose no one's really got any excuse now, have they?
No.
We've all been at home for a year, like go and do something.
Yeah.
Like I'm even thinking like there's no reason why I shouldn't go to the gym after this, because what am I going to do? I've been sat at home for long enough, so I've got no reason to like not go. But that's just a lot of pressure.
I'm definitely not going to go. I'm definitely not going to go. I'm cool. I've got no one to impress. So I'm absolutely...
Yeah, I feel like I'm out the habit now. So I'm like, I'm doing other stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like making banana bread.
Like baking, baking bread.
Were you, when you in London then, on the off seasons, where were you going out there? Is there any places that you were enjoying?
God, yeah, there was a lot of clubs I was joining. All of them have actually closed down now. I was so lucky because I moved in with the girl called Chloe Fontaine, who was actually like the door girl at the end. The end's closed now. So I always used to go to Brick Lane on a Sunday. I always used to go to Fuse. That was religious. So I'd finish playing. I played Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, and then get back on a Sunday. And that was like a real industry meetup where it was like everyone that was like heads used to go to Fuse on a Sunday. It was like Brick Lane in the summer. It's amazing. Obviously, it was sunny, so everyone just jam outside. And that was kind of where I met most of my London pals, I guess, from Ibiza, and then we'd all hook up at like Fuse. When I was going to clubs, Pasha, that closed down. The End was just an incredible club for an after party, was just amazing. So I used to club hop like 4 or 5 nightclubs in one weekend, like if I wasn't working, or even if I was working, then we'd literally, the amount of times that I've lost my CD wallet, like at the Egg or somewhere like that, and then I'll be calling up the owner, be like, have you got mine? He'd be like, yes, Sam, I've got it in my hand. Or be like, go through the video footage, like someone stole it, and then the caretaker be like, yeah, Sam, I've got your CD wallet. I'll be like, oh my God, not again. It was just wild, absolutely wild. But we used to go to like Turn Mills, the Cross. Oh, the Cross was incredible. Again, closed down. All these clubs closed down because of the council.
Yeah.
They all turned them into apartments or office spaces. Really ministry. I've been going to ministry for 16, 17 years, I guess. Still get the same feeling as when I walk in there as I first did when I first walked through the doors. Incredible. And then obviously I got to play there as well. Resident there for a little bit with Defected. Basin House, another amazing club. It's only like 300 people. Again, we used to go there on a Sunday after Fuse, because Fuse used to shut 11. Then we used to go to Basin House. And then before that, we used to go to another club called Public Life, which is actually a public toilet, which is in Shoreditch. I used to walk down the steps, and it was only for about 150 people. That's where I first saw Jamie Jones, Lee Foss, Richie Ahmed play. And you'd walk out of there at 12 p.m. on a Monday afternoon. People would be going to work, and cars everywhere. Gosh. And you'd literally because you're just in your own little bubble for like 24 hours. You'd walk out of there, you'd be like, oh my God.
Is that the one where there's the glass above you and you can see people walking? Is that or is that something else?
It might be.
I could have got it wrong, but I'm sure there's something in London where there is like glass and you can see people walking. Cool. But I don't know.
I lost a lot of brain cells in Public Life. A lot of brain cells. That was, it was amazing. That was literally before Jamie Jones and like even blew up. We used to go to another club. That was in Shoreditch as well. I used to play for like 10 hours in there, but I used to like my raving family. We were literally like 50, 60 deep in our firm, and we just used to literally bounce from all the clubs to after parties. We all used to go to Ibiza or ADE or Miami Music Conference or Sonar. Like we were literally like firm handed, but there were so many raving crews like that. And then obviously when we all got together, we're like 1,000 people strong in a club, but all like-minded people, all loved the same DJs, all loved the same music, and it was good times, man. It was really, really good times. I would say from like 2006 to 2011, 2012 were like the golden years. But also each genre was different then, because it was like funky house was massive between 2003 2005. So you'd have your funky house crew, then it went to electro, then it went to tech house, then it was minimal, then it was techno, then it was deep house, then it was just back to house, because every genre has its like 10-year cycle as well. And then you see new people on on the scene, and then you're like, right, you're under our wing, you can be in our crew, and then it just builds and builds and builds. And then obviously when we started doing club nights, all those people used to come to our club nights. I still run La Vita now to this day with my best friend Camilla. You know, we've been running La Vita for 12 years, I think now, and you still see the same people. It's amazing.
Oh, what circle are we in now?
So we are in, well, I think we're just coming out of a tech house cycle. I think that kind of Salado kicked that off. They absolutely kicked that off. I think we're kind of coming back to like this ravey sound. Obviously I listen to a lot of promos for my radio show, and I'm feeling those kind of big ravey breakdowns, and I think that is going to be, if that connects well with the dance floor, I think we're going to see that cycle. And I've not seen a ravey cycle really for probably way longer than 10 years, probably 20 years in actual fact. So if that connects with the dance floor, I think that's going to be very powerful.
Oh, wow.
Very, very powerful.
That made me all excited.
Yeah.
I know, I'm excited. Because there's certain records that I can play in the radio show, but I can't play in a club. But I think it's just having that confidence, because everyone's been kind of like in this tech house bubble for such a long time. I mean, I don't play tech house, I play house. Under the genre, you know, under the umbrella of house, there's lots of different genres like deep house, tech house, all of that, you know. I mean, I just play house that has got soul, groove and a vocal, you know. That's kind of where I would put myself in that particular lane. But I mean, I do hope this ravey sound comes through, and I think everyone as well has been sat on all their big bangers right now, because they haven't got content, they haven't got the content. Not everyone's doing live streams, not everyone's doing radio. So to get your record in the right DJ's hands has been very, very difficult. So I think a lot of people have been putting music out for streaming purposes. So you'll get, you know, tracks that do very well on Spotify or Apple Music that wouldn't necessarily do well in a nightclub, because it's not for a dance floor track. However, as well, a lot of producers that I know have been, you know, hitting brick walls, because you need to have that feeling, you need to feel the energy of the crowd to be able to then also road test your records as well. No one's been able to road test. So it's like, oh, I need to tweak that bit there, or I need to tweak that, or that breakdown needs to be bigger or whatever, you know. No one's had the chance to do that. Everyone's literally been stuck indoors, stuck in the studios. I mean, I have turned my house into a nightclub. So when obviously I could have friends over, I mean, we've been road testing, and obviously I'm doing live streams and everything else. So I'm very, very excited for it to all come back. But I mean, I'm not going to lie, I've also got a little bit like, it's going to be very overwhelming for DJs to just literally just go straight back, and then you just got like 1,000 people going mental in front of you. It's like, it is giving me a bit of anxiety.
Yeah, I suppose that's a bit of pressure, isn't it? Like, because everyone's going out for that good time, the best time.
Massive pressure. I mean, literally, I think DJs can literally play anything and it's going to go off, you know. But for me, I want people to walk away and just be like, oh my God, like that was insane, you know, because it's our duty as a DJ to, you know, to people to have a good time. But yeah, it's going to be dope when we go back for sure.
Yeah, I guess it's going to be such a big leap, because earlier when you said about the live streams and how you're like got a phone staring at you, I'd never really thought of like the DJ side. I've only ever thought of like the audience watching it, but that must be so surreal. It's kind of staring at a little screen.
Yeah, and it's a lot of pressure, you know, because not only, you know, you've got to do your hair, you've got to do your makeup, you've got to make your tracks, because you've only got an hour. You know that people are going to be reliving that moment in their living rooms off YouTube or whatever platform. So you have to nail it. And like I said, when you're having a down day and you've got to deliver that, because you know that you're going to bring so much happiness to a lot of people, you ain't got time to be sad or to you know, feel sorry about what's going on. You just got to literally like get out of bed, whack your hair up, like put a bit of makeup on and just get in front of it. But it's so stressful. It's not only just you've got to be in a good place to do it, like in your head you've got to be a good place, but you know the logistics of it, of actually setting up a live stream. Oh my God, my phone has nearly been smashed up so many times. So I'm just like, the audio's gone wrong or the video's gone wrong, or you get halfway through and then it doesn't record, or someone rings you and it's just like and then it takes about, I mean I've nailed it now, but it used to take about 8 hours to upload. I used to have to record the video and the audio. So it's so stressful to do a live stream. I mean I've done a million of them now, so I'm just like, plug it in.
You're good to go.
I'm a pro at live streams now. But I mean, that's why a lot of DJs haven't done it, because it is so stressful. A lot of DJs don't even have the equipment. You know, when we first went into lockdown, I was straight on the phone to Pioneer. I was like, right, I need this, and this, and this. So we and my husband's just like, oh, wizard at building anything. He built like a DJ booth. You know, we got new speakers, new decks, new everything. So we were set from literally week one of going into lockdown. We had everything. So we've been able to, you know, do as many live streams. And I've got like, you know, we've got a studio at home. So my husband built me like a little vocal booth so I can do my radio show. So I've actually been like one of the lucky ones, really. But because, you know, if you haven't seen your favorite DJ, it's probably for all of those reasons. You know, it's not because they don't want to play. You know, live streams aren't for everyone. They're really not, because you do have to put your smile on the face and you're just like, yeah, singing and dancing. But, you know, I've seen some live streams where it just, DJs look so awkward, but I get it. I totally get it. I totally get it.
That's
not
an interesting perspective, I think, for everyone who's going to listen to this, because I hadn't really thought about it like that either. Yeah.
And I guess it must be weird when you end the live stream as well. Because I've felt that on like Zoom quizzes when like, you're with all your friends and then you go and you
put the laptop down and then you're like, you realise you're on your own in a room and it's really weird.
Well, I've always got like my husband, like I'm literally playing and I'm like, how many minutes have I got left? How many minutes have I got left? And then like 2 minutes, I'm like, okay. And then I just do like this little thing or like a little thing to like sign off. And then I'm like gritting through my teeth, like, turn it off, turn it off. Like, I'm done now. Yeah, it's hilarious.
That's so funny. So he's like your producer almost for all your life.
Yeah, literally. And he always gets like, he'd like smoke and do like a smoke machine in front of the camera so you can see all this smoke. And then we've got like disco lights and everything. So it looks like a jam. It is an absolute jam in my house. It's definitely kept me going. Definitely kept me going. But like I said, some DJs, you know, haven't had the equipment or they haven't had the headspace to do it because, you know, like I said, you are literally just looking at a phone camera and you can't get vibes from doing that. I mean, I was lucky because when we first went into lockdown in March last year, Simon Dummel rounded up all the troops and we actually played in Ministry I played 2 clubs now with no one in it. And it was so surreal, but it was just a moment in the booth. And I was just so grateful for actually seeing a nightclub. It made me appreciate nightclubs so much more to be in there and see all the team and everyone just kind of rallying around together and just making an experience for people at home, even though there was no one in it. And I was literally on cloud 9, and my actual brand Cloud 9 was born in October after playing Ministry with no one on the dance floor, because I'd come off the decks and I was shaking. I had adrenaline. I was like, oh my God, I feel on cloud 9 because it was just amazing to be out of the house and club. So for when we all get back, all the DJs, I mean, because I've done it a few times now, but if a DJ hasn't been anywhere near a club, it's going to blow their socks off. It really is. Like the feeling that, you know, to not be able to do your job for a whole 12 months is just insane. It's insane.
It's weird how it's like circled from the first times you ever played and you were playing to an empty club, and then you went back to play at an empty club.
Exactly.
And you were like, this is weird without people dancing
without
now.
a dance. Absolutely. But instead, you know, you're not playing a warm-up set, you're actually playing a peak time set.
That's so crazy.
I mean, I went mental. I absolutely hammered out. That set is actually up on YouTube, but it was just insane. It's going to be very overwhelming for, I mean, not just for the clubbers, but I mean, more so for the DJs, because we get such a high adrenaline rush when we're playing. That is going to be that times a million. Do you know what I mean? Like when I go back, I said that, I mean, I've been sober for a little while now. And I said that it'd be too easy to go back to nightclubs and be like, oh, hey, I've not seen you for ages. Let's have a shot of tequila. And then in a minute, it's going to be like, oh my God, I've not seen like 50 people for that long. And in the end, you're just going to be like absolutely sloshed. So I said to my life coach, I said, I need to go back sober because it'd be too easy to get, you know, swipe back in. And then that's when your mental health starts deteriorating. And then you're literally back to square one again. So, you know, I just think we all need to look out for each other on and off the dance floor. 100%.
I have a thought that will anyone really know what their limits are, because
no way, I was going to go crazy
because I barely I'd drink or whatever on the weekends, but barely compared to like what I do on a night out. And now I just feel a bit scared. Like I'm scared for everyone around me too.
Yeah,
because
100%.
It's just going to be another level.
It's going to be so mad to experience it, isn't it? Like,
it's going to be like, you know, the first time that you went clubbing, but you know, everyone's been clubbing for a good few years now, and then the first time just clubbing again, just to have all those rushes and to fall in love with, you know, to fall in love with music again, to fall in love with your friends again, to fall in love with the DJs again, to fall in love with going out again. You know, it's going to be really special, really special. But people don't know their limits then definitely not going to know their limits now. You know, I think clubs have to have, you know, a level of empathy for that as well. And they've got a you know, duty of care to put more security people on, you know, to put more kind of St. John's ambulance at the door or something. There's going to be a lot of that. But, it's real talk. I think clubs are going to have to up everything of that because people are just going to go crazy. We've all been locked up for a year, like literally like caged animals. It's just going to be wild. It's going to be wild. I mean, New Year's Eve is just going to be another level.
Leaving
crazy.
This year behind will be a big moment.
A big
moment. Absolutely.
What's your biggest pinch me moment that you've had across your whole career then?
Oh, God. Really, really good question. It's kind of been so many, really. There's been so many. It's hard to just pinpoint one. I mean, obviously getting signed to Defected was a massive pinch me because I championed the label for so long, going to Ibiza and kind of trying to get myself into VIP. It's like, I have to meet, Simon that works, owns Defected, and actually getting signed. I had all my best friends around me when I got the call, and it was just wild. We partied for about 2 weeks solid after that. It was just, that was a big pinch me because being the first lady of Defected, they'd never even booked female DJs before. So it was a big statement, a huge statement to be signed to Defected. So that was a pinch me moment. Playing on the top of Tower Bridge was pretty crazy.
Wow.
It had never ever been done before, and I was really playing it down to all my friends, and they were like, Sam, this is pretty big, and I'm like, it's just Tower Bridge, like it'd be cool. And then literally there's like a helicopter with Defected on the side of it, like driving past, or like flying past, and then literally I'm like, and it was just a moment because obviously when I said I'd moved from Bristol, Weston Super Mare to London, it was almost like I was playing to the whole of London town, and I got really, really emotional because I was just saying like, thank you London for like accepting me into your city kind of thing. And it was just, that was a real pinch me moment because it was just me and London City playing, because there was no one in front of me. That was incredible. And we like Camel Fat did it as well. And like they had went on the London Eye, and I kind of like gave them this award, and then obviously played up there. So that was really cool. Doing my first solo America tour was a pinch me moment for sure, and that was only a couple of years ago that I did my first. I've been playing in America for years and years, but that was my first solo tour, and just to see how crazy the Americans were going was just like, what, for little me from Weston Super Mare? Like, how do you even know me? It was crazy, and everywhere the vibe and just the whole tone of that tour was just insane. And then I actually went back and did it sober, went on some wicked road trips like along the California coast, and hung out with went on some road trips with like that were fans, actually like super fans that turned into friends. We hung out and we did I think we did 4 or 5 shows together as well actually.
Oh, wow.
And that was a real pinch me moment because I was just like, how do you guys know who I am? Like, I'm just like this little chick from the UK, like and sold the whole tour out as well. It was just that was a big pinch me moment. And same for Australia as well, like playing my first festival in Australia, which was actually it was last February. It was just before lockdown. Did Canada again for the first time ever. So it's like I've been supporting like all the DJs that are from that from these countries, and then actually them coming to see me play was just like, it was just crazy. So I just literally had a call with my American agent. He's like, September girl, it's happening. And I'm just like, yay!
Yeah, I was going to ask what you plan for this year then.
Well, I've got a release schedule now. I've just not been in the right headspace to make music for a while now. I've had my couple of hits and kind of lived off the back of them, and just making music was just never my vibe. It just wasn't my jam. So I just prefer DJing than making music. I cannot stand being in the studio listening to the same kick drum for like 5 hours. I'm like, oh, shoot me now. So now I've got a really good engineer now, and we jam together so well. So I've got a remix coming out of Roger Sanchez's label next month. Then I've remixed one of my favorite records from like 25 years ago on Champion Records. That's coming out in April. As I've said quite a lot, that I used to be into hard house, and there's a record label called Tidy Tracks who, oh my god, most of my hard house vinyl is Tidy Tracks. I'm doing a house remix for them. That they're kind of they're going back 25 years over the catalogue, their back catalogue. So that's a really fun project. And again, I'm actually remixing a Lisa Lash's record. Lisa was one of the first female DJs to get me into it. So I like telling little stories as I go along. And then I've got a few original singles coming out as well. I'm launching a brand new brand called Cloud9, which I'm doing a 9-day UK tour in Q4, which is the end of this year. And I've got 4 dates in America, and then I'll take Cloud9 to the States as well. So just loads going on. Obviously, I've got my Kiss show every Friday, my Defected Defected show every Thursday, and then I do Divine Tribe on Twitch every Saturday, and then I do Sam's Jams, which is R&B and hip hop on a Sunday. So it's like
busy.
Double busy. Double busy. Yeah, but that, do you know what? That is just me, because I can't sit still. I get so depressed if I sit still. Like, I just have to keep going. I have to. My mum's a lorry driver, retired lorry driver. She was exactly the same. She had 3 jobs. You know, she'd be at work 4 o'clock in the morning, not home till like 8 o'clock at night. It's embedded in my dad's such a hard worker
genes
as well. Yeah, it's in my genes, man. It's in my genes. And it's all positive. You know, if I'm smiling on people's faces and I can put a smile on my own face at the same time, then, you know, that's what's kept me going. So I've been so positive for other people and kind of being that inspiration for other people, and just relaying that through my music, you know. So I get so many messages from people just saying, you know, you saved my life, you know, this week with the radio show or with the live stream, or, you know, that's kind of like, it's a regular thing that I get those messages. So I feel like I don't really have time to be sad.
Yeah.
I've got to just, you know, I've just got to keep going for everyone else, and that keeps my vibrations high, you know. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
I've got one more question before we do the final question, because this is just something that I want to know.
Do it.
Because we are new budding radio presenters, not radio, but podcast.
Very good, guys. You are very good.
Thanks.
Very good.
That means a lot coming from
I just wanted to know if you had any top tips for us for the rest of our podcasting careers.
Mate, do you know what? It's just your vibe. I love that you jam off each other as well. You bounce off each other. That's really cool, because you just keep the conversation fun and uplifting and positive. Like, that's really, really good, and that's really lovely to see as well. And you are 2 female hustlers.
Yes.
Love that.
Yeah, we're all about that.
Absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. No, I mean, there's nothing that I don't know. I couldn't really give you any more advice. You're already doing it. Like, literally, you're already doing it. Just keep it fun, and, you know, I think your guests play a big part in that as well. So keep your guests interesting, and you know, people that have got things to say, and that, you know, that you guys can relate to as well. You know, Salado and I are a lot older than you two, you know, so we can, like, you know, bring the Flavor Flav. But, you know, I mean, you sound great, you look great. Like I said, you know, you bounce off each other really, really well. You're asking amazing questions as well. That's really important. The amount of interviews that I do, and the questions are so dead. You're like, oh God, I've said that. I've said the same question so many times. You know, it's nice, because then you can. The biggest thing is to draw stories out of people, and that's when your listeners can relate to it. You know, and you've done exactly that. So A+, ladies.
Oh, thanks. I wasn't just rooting for compliments.
No, I am so real. I will literally. I'm so real. I would tell you otherwise.
Imagine if you just turn around and you're like, you are a bit shit.
Yeah, actually,
I'm gonna go.
Don't give up your day job, please, okay?
Yeah. So we've got a question with every episode, and it is, if you could go out anywhere with anyone, who would you go out with, and where would it be?
Very, very good question.
Dead or alive?
Because it's normally like, who would you like to be stuck in lift with? But who would I like to go raving with? Oh my God. Oh, it would have to be David Attenborough.
Oh, that is a great choice.
It would have to be David Attenborough. We just sit in the smoking room and just chat all night. Like, I wouldn't even want to go on a dance floor. I'd be like, David, what about this? David, what about that? David, what about this?
That's
I would
amazing.
literally, that would be my smoking room buddy, David Attenborough, for sure.
Love that. He's had his vaccine as well, so he's all right.
Oh,
he's good to
God.
go.
David for president. Oh my God, I love him. I love him.
Oh, well, thank you
been
so
amazing.
much for chatting with us. We've absolutely loved it.
It is my absolute pleasure, ladies. You've smashed it, and just I can't wait to listen back. But you two are so much fun. You've got such an amazing energy about you both as well. So just keep doing what you're doing, man. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much.
I could cry.
Good luck with everything this year. I can't wait to hear the new music. And we'll tune into your radio shows as well to steal some tips. But
100%. It's taken me years to get it to where it is. So steal away, ladies. Steal away.
All right. Thank you very much. Bye.
Be on, ladies. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Going Out podcast with Skiddle. Don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe wherever you hear this podcast. Thank you.